Welcome to the lair of the Batty Boffin.
Hi there Batty fans, welcome to a Batty Boffin science video all about marvellous molecules. Now before we get into what molecules are, let's just nip back and find out what elements are. Now there are other Batty Boffin videos that talk about elements, so if you don't know, go back and have a look at one of those. But just as a reminder, elements are the things that we're all made from. They're like the little Lego building blocks from which you build other things. There are lots of different elements. Some of them you know, gold, silver, lead, iron, copper, lots of the metals in there. Other things like oxygen that we breathe, nitrogen that's in the air, carbon, that's the stuff that's down the middle of your pencil. I know we call it lead, but it isn't actually lead, it's carbon, graphite. So there's lots of different elements. We're going to be looking at three of them today: carbon, oxygen and hydrogen. We're going to use those three because those are three of the most common elements there are around. Did you know that you are pretty much exactly 93% carbon, hydrogen and oxygen? The other 7% is other bits and bobs, but most of you is simply made from carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, all kind of stuffed together in some really clever ways. So we're going to have a look at those three and how those three can stick together. Now, I'm going to introduce a concept called valency. Here it is. And in some other videos all about atomic structure, I'll tell you why it comes about. But on this one here, we're just going to talk about valency as being kind of how many bonds the atoms like to make. Imagine it's like how many hands they've got for holding hands with other people. And we've got carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and they all like to hold hands with other atoms in different ways. First of all, we've got carbon. Now, I'm going to show these atoms and molecules with my fabulous little molecular models here, but you don't have to use these. You could use something like Roundtree's fruit pastels. Other sweetie brands are available. Anything that's soft and squishy and comes in lots of colours. You could use modelling clay if you want plasticine kind of thing, but I'm going to use this. So, here are my molly mods. And here's the same thing done in fruit pastels. Here's a little close-up of them so you can see them better. Okay, so this one has got a black carbon atom in the middle. They're coloured black on here, and on these ones I've used kind of the dark red ones. Okay, so that's my carbon in the middle. And as you can see, it's got 4 spikes sticking out of it. Ignore the white ones on the end for a moment, we'll talk about those later. It's got 4 things coming out of it. Carbon likes to make 4 bonds. We say it has a valency of 4. So carbon has a valency of 4. Okay. That means it likes to make 4 bonds. So here it is, stuck to 4 white ones, or 4 green ones on here because you can't get fruit pastels in white. So that's carbon. The next one I want to talk about is oxygen. Oxygen is the red ones on my molly mods, or I've used yellow ones. Again, here's a close-up picture so that you can see them. So here's oxygen. Oxygen, you can see each red ball here has 2 spokes coming off it. Here I've used 2 cocktail sticks. So oxygen likes to make 2 bonds. It's like it's got 2 hands sticking out and it wants to hold on with 2 other different things. So oxygen has a valency of 2. It must always make 2 bonds. And finally, we've got hydrogen. That's the little white ones on the end of here. And each hydrogen only connects to one other thing. I've got one, what have we got here? Here's one hydrogen joined onto one other hydrogen. And, here we go. Here it is shown with fruit pastels. I had to do it on orange here because I ate all the green ones. So hydrogen only likes to make a bond with one other thing. Hydrogen has a valency of 1. So, now it's time for you to get out your fruit pastels and see what you can make. The rules are you must follow the valency. Any carbon must have 4 sticks coming out of it. Any hydrogen must only have 1 stick coming out of it. And oxygen, 2 sticks. It doesn't matter which direction they go in. These ones have got the two sticks right next to each other. That's fine. So you pause the video, grab your jelly babies and see what you can make. I'll see you in a minute, Batty fans. Welcome back. I hope you've had a bit of fun making things with your jelly babies. Hopefully you've made some of the same ones that I've made. Now you could have made loads of different things. Here's a really interesting one, for example. You can actually wear that as a bracelet. There you go. Molecules you can wear. It's called cyclohexane, but that's probably not one that you're going to use very much. But there are some of the others you could make that are very useful and you use them all the time. So let's have a see what we've got. Now this one is just a hydrogen stuck to another hydrogen. So I'll get my green ones, and it's an H stuck onto an H. And that in fact is just the gas, hydrogen. That's not one that we use terribly much, unless you're doing an airship. But don't fill those with hydrogen anymore because it's very flammable. In fact, it explodes. What's something else we could make? Ooh, how about that one? Two reds together. Here it is, done with our jelly babies. Close up again for you. So that's an oxygen stuck on to another oxygen with two bonds going between them. We call that a double bond. So that's an O, double bond, and an O. That's not an equal sign, it's two bonds. So that's an O and an O, and that is O2, or oxygen, or a phone network. Oh, I forgot to write the symbol for that one, didn't I? That one, H2. The little number just tells you how many of them you've got. So we've got H2 hydrogen and O2 oxygen. What else? So we've done those ones, we've done that one. Oh, here's a good one. There's one little oxygen in the middle and two hydrogens on the outside. Did I make one of those? I might have done, but it looks like I might have eaten it. Oh, no, here we go. So there's an oxygen in the middle and hydrogens on the outside. A close-up for you. So, time for you now to have a go. I want you to pause the video and see if you can draw the picture like that for this and then write its formula. It should be one you recognise. So pause the video and do that now. Did you get that one? It should look like this. You don't have to use the colours, I'm just using them. H2O, which is water. If you put OH2, that's not wrong, it's still the same thing, but normally we write it as H2O. Don't really know why, there's no particular rhyme or reason, I don't think. So H2O, water. So that's that one. What else did we make? Oh, yes. This one that looks a bit like a kind of spaceship thing going on. Did you make one of these? Well, if you did, now time to do it. Otherwise, have a look at this close-up and you see if you can draw the picture and write the formula. Your turn to have a go now. Welcome back. This one's a bit trickier. Its picture should look like that, with a C in the middle for carbon and the H's around the outside for hydrogens. Its formula is CH4. The 4 goes with the H there, CH4. Its name is methane. Now, you've possibly not heard of methane, and you think, what's that got to do with me? Now, of course, I know you don't do this, but anybody who gets a little windy in the southern hemisphere, it's methane. Yep, that's what comes out of your behind, methane. So maybe it is something to do with you. Now, come back to the next video, Batty Boffins, and we will see what we can do with some more of these. See you next time.